Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to an all-new edition of War Week Radio. Guys, happy Sunday to everybody. And guys, this would not be a Sunday without the counsel of our very good friend, 5-decade fight trainer, the one and only Mr. James Gogue. James, how the heck are you this evening, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. First time doing it on this platform, StreamYard.com. I'm kind of, old school. You know what I mean? Every time new technology comes out, I'm like, oh God, you know what I mean? I got to figure that shit out again. Hey, you got to admit, these young kids nowadays are sharp. They're a lot smarter than I was when I was coming up. You know what I mean?
Of course. We didn't have to deal with it. Look, to get our boxing news, we had to subscribe to The Ring or or KO or whatever, man. But I tell you what, I still have those.
Or Joe, if you knew a lot of people in the business, you spend $2,000 a month, talking to everybody. That's what I mean. Honestly, that's what I did.
That's the. But you know what? That's the only way you get real boxing knowledge in the trenches, man. Because
but the thing is back then, Joe. Back then you had to pay 10, 20 cents a minute. The motherfuckers, AT&T, they rip you off. But now, God dog, everything's free, man. I mean, geez, information is golly. In boxing, I mean, it's like God. You can get it within seconds.
But I tell you what, and one of the benefits of hosting a radio show with you, Gogue, for almost 10 years now, is that boy, you soak up decades of real boxing knowledge. And I'm sorry, guys, you can't find this kind of knowledge in an article by Kevin Iole or Mike Coppinger.
Nah, man.
You only get this from probing the minds of the great men who made this sport truly what it is today. And so, Gogue, thank you for everything that you do for the sport of boxing, my friend.
The difference between me and them motherfuckers, I lived this shit. I did this shit. I went through the ups and downs in this business, okay? And you still are. If you're in this business, you're going to go through the ups and downs, man. That's the difference between me and a writer or a reporter. They just report on this shit. They don't go through the ups and downs, the headaches. You got to deal, and being a trainer or a manager or promoter, it's a very stressful business, man. And, you get an attitude, after a while, man, like you don't give a fuck or don't give a shit no more. Lou Duva was like that. Oh, man, I'll tell you a story. Lou Duva, oh, my God. One time, it was, fight in San Antonio. It was a pay-per-view card. I think it was Holyfield versus Kendo. Yeah, I think he had Golden Johnson.
At the Alamo Dome, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, because we fought the co-main event. I think I had a Gabriel Elizondo. We fought Jose Navarro, but he had Golden Johnson. And I don't know, some shit went down, and Lou, boy, just in the locker room, he was just cussing out everybody, Dickie Cole and everybody. And nobody does, you don't disrespect, Dickie Cole, man. He'll come down hard on you. Dickie Cole was the commissioner of Texas, okay? He was like God. And Lou, he didn't give a shit, and Dickie was trying to calm him down. Come on, Lou, calm down. And that's where you get in the business, man. Raul Marquez was telling me, hey, man, when you've been in this long in the business like he has, man, you know what I mean? All the shit you put up with, and you get to the point where, you just don't want to put up with nothing no more.
Yeah, well, that's why you're probably in your high-altitude gym in León, Mexico.
Yeah, away from the United States training. Away from training fighters from the USA, them bitches, you know what I mean? I don't need it.
That's a huge difference, and I think it's a difference in fans as well. What can you cite before we get started breaking down Josh Taylor's big win over Jose Ramirez? Can you actually give us the biggest differences between the fighters in America versus the fighters everywhere else in the world?
Well, my experience in Mexico and Colombia. Give you an example. It started happening when I left the States a couple of years ago. Like last 8 to 10 years, I started training guys. My guys, I get them a fight. First thing they say, well, let me talk to my mom, let me talk to my dad, and let me talk to the guy that cuts my grass. That never used to fucking happen. When I get you a fight, you don't even question me, motherfucker. But they used to question me. The next thing they would do is, get this, Joe. Oh, can I get a YouTube video on the guy? I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez. At the 4-round stage?
Oh,
really?
my God. and mostly every time, oh, man, ask the promoter for more money. You know, man, when I moved to Colombia a couple years ago, it was a complete opposite. Them guys, hey, this is who you're going to fight? Okay, that's it. No, there's no negotiating over the opponent, what you're getting paid. And there was no, they didn't watch no YouTube videos of the motherfucker. They just fought, okay? That's the difference. They were fighters. It reminded me of the olden days, man, you know what I mean, coming up. Now I'm in Mexico, it's the same thing. This is what you're going to get, it's just they want to fight. And, get this, Joe. In Colombia, for 4 rounds, you made $100, $110. 6 rounds, you would make, what is it, 160. 8 rounds, you would make 300. And for 10-round main events, you would make $660. Yeah, this is true. Okay, different pay scale. Same here in Mexico, you know what I mean? 100 for 4, 160 for 6, 300 for 8-rounders, and 660 for 10-rounders. And
wow.
And tough fights too, Joe. Oh my God, yeah, tough fights, man. I remember a guy, Leonardo Padilla. I think he had the fight of the year in Colombia that one year, man. He fought some dude from Cartagena. Oh my God, it was a war, man. It was on Colombian national TV. It was a war. He got paid like little 660, I think, 700. Hugo Barrera. We fought a tough guy 3 times, man, and he got paid 660, and every single time it was a war. You know what I mean, Joe? They never questioned. That's the difference, man, between fighters in Mexico, fighters in Colombia, and these bitches. They think they're fighters in the States, okay? Yeah, man. Yeah, they just ain't got no fucking balls.
Well, and that's one of the things that made me originally disheartened with the boxing business.
Yeah.
Because it seemed that with the rising popularity of Floyd Mayweather and his business model, everyone, even at the club level, wanted to be Floyd Mayweather. It really turned me away from the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, at the club level, they're doing this shit. Oh my God! Man, now they're doing this shit at the big leagues too. I hear there's certain managers I don't want to mention. They turn down a lot of fights. Reasonable fights. Their guys should be fighting, but they turn them down. Robert Diaz goes to the shit at Golden Boy. Brad Goodman goes to the shit at Top Rank. What's that guy? Eric Botcher goes to the shit at
Matchroom.
Yeah, Eddie, Ron Katz, Tom Brown, they go through the shit with Al. This is it totally turned me off about wanting to train fighters in the States. That's why I like it here in Mexico, man. I don't make the money. I don't make the money I am with the States, but I have peace of mind. I mean, I don't have that stress like I had in the States.
Well, and you have fighters that actually show up to the gym and aren't on their phones the entire time.
Believe it or not, they got that problem. They had that problem. In the States, it was a big time problem. I had a little bit of problem that in Colombia, but I had to let them guys, know that wasn't, that's not acceptable. And in Mexico, I had that problem sometimes. But you just gotta let them know as a coach, you gotta lay the rules down. Okay, you don't lay the rules down, they're gonna pretty much do their own routine. So you gotta let them know who's boss right off the bat. And you gotta lay the routine down. And hey, if they don't like it, get the fuck out. I tell them right off the bat. You don't like my rules? Hey, go fucking find another trainer. I ain't got time for your shit. I don't, man. I don't care how talented they are, man. I don't got time for it, man. Hey, bye. See ya.
Well, I tell you what, last night at the Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas, Nevada, we saw 2 fighters that don't have any problem with discipline or drive or heart or mental and physical durability. It was a full junior welterweight unification, undisputed for the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO titles, in which Josh Taylor got a big unanimous decision victory In 12 rounds over previously unbeaten Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor improves his record to 18 wins, 0 losses, 13 big wins coming by way of knockout. And Jose Ramirez falls to 26-1 with 17 KOs. All 3 judges scored the fight identically at 6 rounds apiece, with the difference between the 2 extra points or the 2-point deduction for the knockdowns in the 6th and the 7th round, respectively. Oof. For your winner, Josh, the Tartan Tornado Taylor. Gogue, now on our preview last Sunday, you called it and you said, boy, this is going to be a really tough fight. And would you see both guys turning up? But the difference was going to be the versatility and the natural athleticism and ability of Josh Taylor. Did it play out exactly like you expected?
I thought Josh would fight him in the pocket more, and beat Jose Ramirez at his own game in the trenches. But you see right off the bat, every time they got in the pocket, Josh smothered him, didn't let Jose get his distance he needed to throw those combinations he wanted to. And he tied him up a lot. You know what I mean? He didn't go war to, he fought a safer path, which was from range and distance, boxing, feigning, catching Jose coming in with straight left hands, working the jab and the feints, boy. He was using them beautifully through the whole fight, especially after he hurt Jose. Once he hurt Jose with that first knockdown, boy, them feints. See the fans out there. I said this on Twitter. Feints work the best when you hurt your opponent with punches first. When you nail your guy with some good shots, you put some fear, intimidation in him. Okay. Then once you put some fear and intimidation in them, then that's when you can start feinting. Okay. Feinting with the jab, feinting with the right hand, feinting with the hook. And they start freezing up. They start becoming tentative, boy. It's playing mind games with your opponent where he's so worried about what you're going to do. He forgets what he's going to do to you. Okay. He can't get in the rhythm, which means he can't get that momentum going. So feints is one of the most underrated weapons in boxing. Okay. You got to know how to use them and you got to have the IQ. That's the key. You got Josh Taylor, boy, beautifully. He used them beautifully yesterday, boy. Once he hurt Ramirez with that knockdown at first, boy, Ramirez was, he was biting on every feint. He was a sucker for every feint, okay? And it kept him out of rhythm, okay? It kept him, thinking about what Taylor was going to do, because he was, like I said, he got his attention. You got to get it, when you're fighting a bully like him, like Ramirez, like he tries to bully you with a volume of punches. What do? You punch him in the fucking mouth, get his attention. Oh, he got his attention when he hit him with that left hand.
Yeah, you know what? Within the first 4 rounds, I gave the first, when I was scoring at home, I scored the very first 2 rounds for Josh Taylor. Controlling range with his feet and with his touch jab, turning Jose Ramirez effectively, throwing more shots. And I gave him the first 2 rounds, and then I saw Jose Ramirez start to find range, start to do some effective work, close into distance effectively, and I gave him 3 and 4. After that, you started to see Josh Taylor make an adjustment, and he started to, control range again. What did Josh Taylor do? What changes did he make that was so effective? And it showed him pretty much taking over the fight after round 4.
He put him on his ass. He caught him coming in, Joe. I talked about it on the show last week. Jose Ramirez got a lot of holes in his defense when he presses you, okay? Mm-hmm. He doesn't work behind a jab sometimes. He just, basically walks straight in with his, hands low, no head movement, no feints, and no jab, okay? If you ain't got when you're an aggressive pressure fighter, and you're you're in a straight line of fire, and you're closing that distance, the closer you get to him, you're going to get hit if you don't put something in that guy's face. And that's what what's his name? Taylor basically timed him beautifully. He knew, Ramirez kind of telegraphed that right hand. He kind of like bended, he kind of like dropped down a little, bended the knees, and threw the right hand. Right then, just that little bend in the knees, right then telegraphed that the right hand was coming. Taylor slipped it and countered over it with a beautiful left hand. What knocked him out was not the punch connecting, was him running into the fucking punch.
Yep. Using his aggressiveness against him. Yep.
Yeah, his weight coming into the punch knocked him out, knocked him down. It's like me running full speed into a brick wall. Okay, the brick wall didn't knock me out. It was me running into it, and that's what same principle, Joe. He just got caught coming in with a good shot, and that changed the tide of the fight. You see, after that punch, Ramirez wasn't so
eager.
Macho. Yeah, he wasn't so brave. Okay, Taylor got his attention, and that made his game plan work even more effectively. The feints, the straight left hands, the jab, the movement. You know what I mean? The straight left hand to the bodies. All the combinations. Like I said, Joe, this is a mental game. When you could get a guy's attention and put some fear in him, oh yeah, it makes your game plan work so much easier.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I noticed after the knockdown, he was biting on every single feint that Josh would throw at him.
Oh, yeah, he was biting. He was worried about, there it goes, Joe. He was worried more about what Josh Taylor was doing than what he was doing, okay? Because he had that thing in his mind. That fucking guy can hurt me. I got to be careful.
Indeed. And you know what? And it's funny. I went back and I looked at the replay and I counted Kenny Bayless after the first knockdown gave Jose Ramirez 20 seconds to recover before before actually calling time in and the action reconvened. And then in the following round, he looked like he was getting ready to break up the action. He pushed Jose Ramirez's hand away. Jose Ramirez then relaxed and never saw the short, compact uppercut from the inside from Josh Taylor. Put him on his ass, and he was genuinely hurt in that one. And then Kenny Bayless continued to give him, and I counted, 23 seconds until to recover until he allowed the fight to continue. What did you think of 71-year-old Kenny Bayless's performance as a referee last night?
Typical bullshit. He does the same shit. Look at Robert Garcia, the trainer. This is the second time he got screwed over by Bayless. Okay, every time they got inside, he would break. He would break the action up too quickly. Yeah, because Jose wanted to be inside so he could put his combinations together. Okay, that's where he wanted to be. Okay, that's the only way he was going to win the fight is in the trenches, phone booth, mano a mano. Okay.
Yep.
Now every time he got inside, instead of letting them fight their way out of it naturally, he would just break them up. Okay, ruin the ebb and flow of a good fight. He did this. Like I said, this is the second time Robert Garcia got screwed. The first time when he had Chino Maidana when he fought Mayweather the first time. When he fought Mayweather the first time, and he did the same exact shit. Every time Chino got inside and he wanted to work, he wouldn't let him work. He would break it up. Okay, you know what I mean, Joe? It's he's not the kind of ref that you would want. Jose Ramirez, he's not the kind of ref you would want for Jose Ramirez's type of style. A guy like Robert Byrd, he won't. He'll make you, fight out of the pocket. He won't break you. You know what I mean? He lets you police yourself. He lets you police yourself in the pocket. There's a few other refs. Mark Calloy, Texas, the guy that just.
Mark Calloy is a great ref. So is Rafael Ramos. Yep.
Yeah, he just refereed the Canelo fight with B.J. Sanders. Yeah, he let you fight out of the trenches, and he also warned you for holding. You know what I mean, Joe? So,
well, and listening to Bob Arum vent post-fight, he said he was disgusted with the amount of holding that Kenny Bayless allowed from Josh Taylor, and he really didn't let Jose Ramirez actually work on the inside. That was a huge complaint from Bob Arum post-fight.
Joe, that's Jose's fault for letting Taylor tie him up. That's Jose's fault for letting Taylor smother him, okay? All right, great fighters that know how to fight in the pocket, they don't let their opponents tie them up. Guys like Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, okay? Great inside fighters. Salido, okay? They know how to prevent a guy from letting them tie him up. They know how to keep the right distance, okay? And not smother their opponent, okay? So, you don't blame Bayless. You blame Ramirez for letting it fucking happen.
Of course, but that was just Arum being Arum post-fight, brother. You know that. I want to thank Antonio for joining us live. James Gogue, living the dream. Thank you for joining us, Antonio. God bless you, brother.
Hi.
I tell you what, so, we look at, So going into the end, and I know a lot of people, including Josh Taylor, had a problem with the scorecards. And going into the 11th round, Gogue, I had Josh Taylor with a comfortable lead at 8 rounds to 2 with 2-point deduction for the knockdown in the 6th and the 7th. And then Josh Taylor with receiving the marching orders from Ben Davison in the corner. He just seemed to put it in cruise control in 11 and 12. But that's a very dubious game plan in every championship fight now, isn't it?
It almost bit him in the ass. Let me tell you this, Joe. You're fighting in Vegas, okay? Anything can happen over there. You know what, Joe? The mistake he made, Ben, he's a cautious trainer. You know what I mean? He doesn't like to. He ain't like Emmanuel Stewart. He go for the fucking knockout. After was it 6th round when he dropped him with that uppercut? Was it the 6th round?
Yes, the 6th and the. Sorry, which fight?
Well, which round did he drop him with? The uppercut, the left uppercut.
Oh, the left uppercut was in the 7th. That was the one that really hurt him.
Okay, he was still fucking hurt when the bell rang, and when he came out, you could see his legs were still wobbly. He should have put the nail in the coffin right then and there. He should have went right after him. A high, fast pressure. Punch attack, body, head, body, hitting this guy with all kinds of combinations from all kinds of angles, up and down, and he would have stopped that guy, okay? But he played it safe, okay? He let it go to the scorecard. He had it right. He had the perfect opportunity to score a spectacular knockout, but he played it safe, and guess what? It almost bit him in the ass.
Are you surprised though with the tutelage under the tutelage of Mr. Ben Davison are you surprised that he played it safe though in the back third of the fight?
Well, Ben Davison, I don't know much about him. He did a great job. I give him credit. You know what I mean? A young kid, sharp. I don't know the guy, but he seems to have a good knowledge of the game. But anyway, what happened was, just the Tyson Fury fight. You could see he had Tyson fighting real defensive, very real, basically scared. You know what I mean? Very safe and everything. But when Sugar took over, he turned Tyson to an animal, the predator instead of instead of being the lamb, he turned Tyson into the predator. And same thing I've seen in Ben. He's them English coaches are like that though, man. They like that safety first shit. You know what I mean? I'm just letting you know. So, but it was still effective. I'm not kidding. Like I said, he did a great job in his game plan. Everything I talked about on the show last week, was pretty much, what he should do to be effective against Ramirez. But I thought he would be more aggressive just by watching his past fights, 3-4 fights. I thought he would be more aggressive in the trenches. And beating Jose Ramirez at his own game. But,
when I saw that the assignment was when Ben Davison was the head trainer, I knew that he was, because he's a guy who's the Virgil Hunter of the UK. He likes to preach distance and range, controlling range from mid to long range, right? From a distance. I knew he was going to try to make it a much easier fight for Taylor. And to be honest with you, because Taylor took so much incoming and got so much damage against Regis Prograis in the finals of the Super World Series, I knew that's why they switched to Ben Davison after that, because his eye really blew up, and he wanted to take less incoming. And so, I had a feeling that he was going to try and make it a much safer fight for Josh Taylor, and it really seemed to pay off. We have a question from our brother Antonio, and he asked you this, Coach: how does Josh Taylor do respectively against Crawford at 47 or Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds later this year? And what fight do you prefer?
Oh, shit. Crawford, move up in weight. Both fights, man, are great, but Crawford, move up in weight. Look, man, Taylor's coming off a big win. Crawford needs a dance partner, okay? He'll, this COVID shit is going away, so they'll start opening the arenas to full capacity. And I think Taylor, because he made a big hit yesterday, he could bring a lot of UK fans over there to Vegas, and Crawford could bring, of course, his fan base from Omaha. So I think that would be a great fight. Yeah, but hey,
go ahead.
Crawford ain't Jose Ramirez. All right, that's a different type of animal. Right?
Yeah, you know what's funny is a lot of people think that maybe Josh Taylor won't be as effective at 47. Guys, keep in mind Josh Taylor is a big junior welterweight at 5'10" tall in the center of the ring, right? He's actually a bigger guy than Terrence Crawford, and honestly, he wouldn't be killing himself to make 140 pounds anymore. That's where the money is, and in my opinion, that is the most intriguing fight that he can make. And it almost seemed post-fight when asking Josh Taylor what he wanted to do next. I think he likes the idea of making one defense against his mandatory WBO mandatory in Jack Catterall, a big event in the UK. He could have a packed house in Scotland. And then after that, well, he's got his choice of defending all 4 titles at 140 to Teofimo Lopez, or scrapping the titles, moving up to 47 at a much more comfortable weight for him, and fighting for much bigger dollars against Terrence Crawford. Gogue, how would a fight play out against Teofimo Lopez, the Phenom?
Oh, man, that would be a hell of a fight. Intriguing. Teofimo, he can adapt to any style, okay? Quick hands, quick counter puncher, and he's got pop. But let's see if he could carry, let's see if that his punching power can carry up to, if he can do the same thing at 135 with his punching power at 140 pounds. So, just the speed, his quick counter punching. Oh, that gives anybody problems, Joe. Taylor would have a hard time with this kid. Yeah. And he can hit. Remember, Joe, when you can hit, it just makes your game plan so much easier.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Antonio, I think he wants to see the takeover versus the Tartan Tornado. And to be honest with you, I think that's the fight that Bob Arum wants. Otherwise, he wouldn't care about him defending his mandatory against his mandatory Jack Catterall. What would be the point if he was immediately moving up to face Terrence Crawford?
Hey,
in my opinion.
You know what,
Go
Joe?
ahead, sir. Yep.
Fuck Jack Catterall. Who the fuck is he? I don't want to see that shit. Dude's just coming off a big win, okay? What the fuck you want to step down to fight that guy for, man? That guy's nothing. Nah, when you're coming off a big win, you go right back into a big fight. Fuck this shit. Yeah.
Like I said, I think he just wants a victory lap here, and he wants a big homecoming UK fight against another Frank Warren fighter in Jack Catterall. That's in my opinion, but you're absolutely right. If his plans are to move up to 47, why waste your time trying to cut weight, trying to make 140 again, and waste your time with a guy like Jack Catterall? It doesn't make any sense if you want the big dollars.
Yeah, Jack Catterall. Anyway.
So now we look at, well, what's next for Jose Ramirez, because we looked on the undercard of that event, and we're going to talk about the undercard very briefly, Gogue. But you look in the co-main event, Jose Zepeda looking very ordinary against Hammerin' Hank Lundy at the ripe old age of 56 or whatever he was. Gogue, were you a little surprised that, well, Jose Zepeda struggled at times against Hank Lundy?
Oh, it was a boring fight. Honestly, Joe, I took a nap. That's all. I took a nap to get ready for the big fight, man. Anyway, after seeing a couple rounds of that shit, I'm like, oh, God. This is going to be, a waste of my time. Let me get a good nap in.
Okay, well, Antonio gives us one more question here. He says, Coach, do you think Taylor's body is susceptible to hard work underneath? Ramirez had a good game plan early in that fight. What changed everything, though, for Taylor? And why do you think Jose Ramirez didn't continue with that plan?
Because he got knocked on his ass and he was tentative afterwards. You know what I mean, Joe? When you get knocked on your ass and that opponent, you know what I mean, mentally, he intimidates you. You know, okay, that's when you can start playing the mind games on your opponent and make him very tentative, but working good feints. Okay, stuff like that, Joe. But the thing is, like I said, feints are only good if you can hurt your opponent. Okay, well, they're good at setting up your combinations too, but they really are effective after you hurt your opponent. Once you hurt your opponent, you start feinting him and everything, boy. The last thing he's thinking is, what is he gonna do? And he's more focused on what you're gonna do. So,
do you think the pre-fight banter between Taylor and Ramirez, do you think it uncharacteristically rattled Jose Ramirez going into that fight? You think he was letting his feelings get in the way, his emotions get in the way, or rather than implementing his fight plan methodically like he usually does?
Nah. He was calm and cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nah. He's a professional, man. You get in that ring, man. It's not a street fight, okay? You better have your emotions under control, or you're gonna get your ass whooped. And you know what I mean? And stick to clear mind, no emotion, no anger, and just execute your game plan, okay? No. That's all bullshit. When Josh Taylor said, "Oh yeah, I got into his head," no, he didn't. No, Taylor. That's the way Ramirez always fights. He always has holes in his defense when he attacks you. Okay, and you got to be a good fighter to capitalize on them holes in his defense when he gets closer. And he did. That straight left hand, which knocked him out. He was getting hit a lot with a straight left hand. Oh yeah, the counters too, Joe. One thing I like Taylor did, what he did, he took away Ramirez's left hook to the body. What he would do was block that hook, his left hook to the body, block it with his elbow. Then he would counter with his right hook right away. Block and counter, block, counter. He did that beautifully. Okay. And Ramirez, once he started getting hit with that counter right hook, after throwing his left hook, you can see he got kind of tentative. See, Joe, when you're trying to throw a certain punch at your opponent, and he counters it, you start getting tentative and wanting to use it. Okay, so that was real good. That was I don't know who made that. I know they worked on that, Joe. I mean, you just don't go do it in a fight, man. I know his coach or somebody on his team, not Ben, or what's that guy's name? Or one of his amateur coach. They thought about that. You know what I mean? That catch and counter with the right hook. You'll see it in the fight. He did that a few times and caught him. He caught him flush, man. And Taylor quit using that Ramirez quit using that left hook to the liver after that. Very intelligent fight plan by Josh Taylor. And there's your big winner. He becomes the undisputed junior welterweight champion with scores of 114, 112 across the board. Coach,
let's look at another fight, and I was not all that surprised. I knew there was going to be a tough test for Elvis Rodriguez, but Kenneth Sims Jr. fights a very disciplined, smart fight from range, keeps Elvis Rodriguez at bay for 8 rounds, gets the majority decision upset over Elvis Rodriguez. Congratulations to Mr. Kenneth Sims Jr. Were you a bit surprised when you saw this unfold?
I don't know, Joe. Look, I've never seen this guy Rodriguez go the rounds. He's always knocking guys out real quick. So you don't know what you have in these motherfuckers nowadays until you put them in, some fights where they're gonna go the rounds. And man, I noticed after the 3rd round, I'm like, God dang, Sims is giving this guy a good fight. And as the fight went on, first thing I said to myself, shit, Rodriguez don't know how to fight. You know what I mean? Sims, Sims has been battle tested more. Okay, he lost maybe once, I don't know, twice, I don't know, but he's been battle tested more, and he's gotten better, Joe. He's gotten better. Okay, he used to just box from range, safety first. Didn't want to press the action, mix it up. You know what I mean, Joe, and tie you up when he got close. But this fight, he took the fight to him. He put the pressure on him, and was, beating him at medium, short range, okay? Out punching him and everything. Rodriguez had no clue what to do and everything, you know what I mean? If he can't hurt you, that means he got to go the rounds. Then you start seeing his weaknesses, his deficiencies. He can't fight. He don't know how to fight.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we'll see how Elvis Rodriguez bounces back, but tough blow. And, well, this is boxing. Anything can happen in that squared circle, in the theater of the unexpected, like Larry Merchant always liked to say. But very quick thoughts on Luis Hard Luck Coria. That's a Robert Garcia fighter who seemed to, well, he had 2 knockdowns and a point deduction. He drops a unanimous decision in 8 rounds to Jose Vivas. Very quick, Coach. What were your thoughts on that very entertaining but surprising outcome on the undercard of Taylor Ramirez?
I thought he's related to Jaime Munguia because he likes to block punches with his face. You know what I mean, Joe?
What did you think of the decision, Coach?
I was kind of surprised, to tell you the truth. Shit, he dropped the guy twice. I figured that's 4 rounds in his pocket. All he had to do was win 1 more round. So, like I said, man. But, Joe, his lack of defense, causes him to lose these fights, okay? He just ain't got no defense. And a young kid like that ain't going to have a long career, Joe. As many punches as he takes to the face, he's not going to have a long career. No. I could tell. A couple more years of wars like that, a year more of wars like that, he's going to be punchy. He's going to be what he call a shot fighter.
Yep. Well, tough luck for Louis Left Hook Coria as he falls to 12-5 on the career. But very, very gallant performance, very entertaining performance. Quick thoughts, Gogue, on the former Cuban gold medalist Robeisy Ramirez, who got a big victory, albeit a very lackluster one, in a 6-round unanimous decision against Ryan Allen.
Garbage, basura.
Didn't do anything for you, huh?
Nope. Look, that guy he fought wasn't shit. He should, if you're a real prospect, you're supposed to go out there and handle your business and take him out 2 or 3 rounds, man. Not go the distance with that fucking guy. Robles Ramirez, he ain't show me shit.
Doesn't get the approval from Coach Gogue. So now we're moving on, looking forward to this Saturday night. We switch the ticker. Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares, May 29th, this Saturday at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's going to be televised in your main event on DAZN. Gogue, do you like this matchup for the young kid?
Look, you need to fight guys like this on your way, to superstardom. I'll give you an example. Don Charkin, he one of his champions he had over there in Sacramento, Loretto Garza, who I got to work with when I started coaching. When he was coming up, he seasoned him with 3 former champions. First one was Charlie Choo Choo Brown, the former IBF lightweight champion, Russell Peltz guy. The second guy was Harry Arroyo, the former IBF champion, lightweight champion. And the third guy was who did he season him up with? I can't remember. Joe Manley. Yeah. Yeah, the former another IBF champion, okay? He had to fight 3 tough guys like that coming up, okay? That's what you do. When you're a young kid like Haney, you got to fight these established veterans, not in their prime, but you know what I mean? Around the timing is right, okay, for him to fight a guy like Linares and everything. Because, Linares is past his prime, doesn't take a good punch, cuts easily, you know what I mean? But he's still, offensively, he's still, superb offensive fighter, fast hands, super fast combinations, good footwork, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of experience, championship experience and everything. So it's a good test for Haney and everything because he hasn't fought nobody. He ain't no fucking champion. They gave him that belt, okay? They gifted him that belt. Teofimo is a real champion, okay? But that WBC, and their bullshit they do, you know what I mean? They create these belts. But anyway, this is his first good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight for him to establish some credibility in the kid. Now, is Linares,
well,
like I said,
hold on just 1 second. Hold on, Coach. What do you think of Devin Haney working with strength and conditioning coaches Victor Conte and Remy Corkemy, as well as hiring second assistant trainer Ben Davison for this assignment?
The kid knows how to fight, man. Shit. All he needs is experience, man. Haney had a good coach, Mike McCallum. He's a damn good coach. You're gonna tell me, coach. Ben? You think Ben Davison knows more than Mike McCallum? Oh, come on, give me a break. Mike McCallum's a Hall of Fame fighter and a damn good trainer, man. Oh, I know. I've been around Mike, man. Back in the days, man. We used to train in Big Bear together. Larry Goosen's gym when Eddie Futch had all his champions up there training. Riddick Bowe, McCallum, Wade McCullough, all them guys. He used to bring them to Big Bear. And one time, I went out to dinner with Mike, and we just started talking boxing. Boy, he's a very knowledgeable guy. He's just not one of them fighters that can fight. He could talk boxing strategy. You know what I mean? Game plans. He's got a high boxing IQ. All right, and he's Haney. Like I said, what the hell is this guy Ben Davison going to teach him, man? Come on, man. Ben Davison, like I said, I'm not a smart guy, but every fucking fighter he had was a world champion or guys that can fight. Let me see him. Look, let me see him do stuff like I did. Take C-level fighters, build them up, and take them to the States and put them in with A-level fighters, A-level prospects. Okay, big promoter prospects, and let me see if he could do that, and how his C-level fighters compete with these guys. Okay, then you'll find out what type of how good of a trainer he is. It's easy to look good as a trainer when you got a guy like Billy Joe Sanders, Tyson Fury, the guy last night, Josh Taylor. Yeah, but when your talent is not up to par like them guys, and you're fighting guys where you're the big underdog, man, let me see what he's made of as a trainer. Okay, I've been doing this I've been doing that for last 10, 12 years, taking guys C-level talent at best, going against A-level competition, fighting them. Okay, we might not win them all, but we give them good fights, and that's a lot of times it's not the end results, but getting the best out of your fighter. Okay, that's the key.
You know what, Gogue, and that seems to be the most underrated, understated commodity in all of boxing.
Yeah.
You provide such a huge service to the boxing community and give these genuinely tough tests for all of these blue chip prospects coming up. Talk about what an invaluable service that is and how it really hinders the growth of these if that doesn't happen?
Man, look, I had a guy named Guadalupe De Leon. His record was, I think, 10-14. It don't matter. You know, he was the toughest fighter I ever worked with. Here's a guy, Joe. He worked 12-hour shifts from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. Get to the gym at 10 o'clock. Get to the gym at 7 o'clock, and we put in a hard 3-hour workout. Okay, he never ran, Joe, because he didn't have no time, man. You know what I mean? We put in, and he did that day after day after day after day. Never complained. Tremendous work ethic. I could trust him 110%, and we fought every badass out there. Gary Russell, Jorge Diaz, Ronnie Rios, what's that guy? Miguel Flores. That was one of the easier fights. God, what's that guy's name from Golden Boy, man? Huerta. You know, all these guys were top-level amateurs, man. Derek Wilson. All these guys were top-level amateurs, prospects when we fight them and everything. And Casey Ramos, another guy. Jerry Belmontes. We fought them back to back to back to back to back. We ain't like these motherfuckers. They get a hard fight, then they want to have 5 easy fights. We fought these guys back to back to back to back to back. All right. The reason I did that, when he came to me, he was 30 years old. I said, hey man, we ain't got time to play around. We got to fight. So that's what he did. And we fought these guys back to back to back to back. Okay, Joe. And this guy, every time we fought, every single fighter was more talented than us. Oh, no doubt. But, like I said, he had a strong work ethic, strong will, mentally tough, highly resilient. And I just taught him good. I established the good fundamentals in him. Okay. Defense, footwork, inside fighting. You know what I mean? I polished his inside game a lot. Just the basic fundamentals. And because of his conditioning and his toughness, he could compete with all them dudes, man. He only got stopped one time, I think, with me. Everybody else we went the distance with, you know what I mean? And we got a couple upsets, by the way. But anyway, yeah, like I said, and a couple of times I thought we won, but, they gave it to the other guy. But, that's, to me, it's bringing out the best in your fighter. Now, if you got a guy that's a world fucking champion or a talented prospect coming up, it's fucking easy to train, Joe. I can have a Sunday morning hangover every day and train guys like Josh Taylor. I can wake up hungover and go over there training him. That's easy. Okay, that's easy. But when you got C-level talent, you don't have as many. What do you call it? You don't have as many variations to your game. You can add on, like a guy like Josh Taylor. When you got C-level talent, there's only so much you could do with that with your fighter. Okay, when you got a talented fighter, there's more variations to the game, more levels to the game you could build on. Okay, when you got a talented fighter, but when you got a guy that's not as talented, well, you got to take what you get and make the most of it and bring out the best of them. And I did that with him. Carson Jones, another guy. We'll talk about that one day.
But anyway, Jim Shaka in getting him prepared for JMM on that Showtime card.
Yeah, it was a big
at the State Farm Arena.
Yeah, he was a big sissy when I got him. I had to turn him around in like 5 weeks. But Joe,
that was a great fight, Gogue.
I love a fight. Marquez Nacho Berestein told me after the fight he was surprised, that we went out to try to attack him. Because if you watch James Gogue before I started helping him out, he was a little cutie pie, just ran around the ring, slapped the shit out of you, bitch slapped you. He didn't want to fight. He didn't like physical contact. I had to change that. I had to change his attitude because we weren't going to beat Juan Manuel Marquez like that. But that's what it is, Joe. A coach's job is to bring out the best in a fighter, whether you're a talented fighter or you're not a talented fighter. Now, this Ben Davison, the only thing that kid's proving is he's taking good fighters. He's taking good fighters, and that's all. He's just training, and he's polishing them up and getting them in shape. Now, can he take these guys that are not as talented, like on the C-level, on the talent level, the C-level talent level fighters, can he take them and build them and develop them and put them? Let me see him do that and put him against some A-level prospects. Then we'll find out what type of trainer he is. Okay, we'll find out. You know,
Indeed.
a lot of these fucking guys, a lot of these trainers, man, they only get good fighters so they could, they get good fighters that make them look good, okay?
Well, he's going to have one of those this Saturday night as he's in the corner for Devin Haney. Devin Haney is going to enter the ring at age 22, fights out of the orthodox stance, stands 5 foot 8 inches tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a 71-inch reach. Originally from San Fran, Cali. He now resides in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's going to come to the ring with a perfect record, 25 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. What's there to like, Gogue, about the current WBC lightweight title holder?
Talented kid, Joe. I'm not questioning this kid's talent. He's got, you know, he's explosive. He's fast. He's got good reflexes. You know what I mean, Joe? He's a talented fighter. All right? You just got to get him in shape, polish him up on the pads, box intelligently behind that jab. And once he does that, everything will set itself up. Okay? His counters. Okay? You know, stuff like that. The fast combinations. Okay? I like that. I like how he throws, you know, I like how he throws that little looping overhand right when he gets, you know, when he gets the right range, he'll just loop it over the top and everything. You know what I mean? But yeah, Joe, he's a good, but the thing is, you know, he fought that old man Gamboa and he went the distance with him. When you're fighting an old guy like that and you're supposed to be a young upcoming superstar, you're supposed to knock him the fuck out at old man like that. You don't go the distance with a guy like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, like I said, Joe, he's a talented kid. I'm not telling you, but he's inexperienced, and I don't know if he has a ticker. I never seen him in a tough fight, Joe. If Linares, like I said, he's an offensive machine. Even though he's past his prime, he can still put them punches together, and he got some pop on him. So I want to see if he hurts this guy, how this kid reacts, okay? I want to see his mental toughness and resilience if he's in a tough fight, all right? That's why this fight's a good fight and everything. But, yeah, Joe, this talent, yeah, man. Ben Davison ain't going to help shit, okay? He knows how to fight, all right?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Mike McCallum did a great job with him coming up.
Indeed. And right now the kid sure does look the part. We're going to see how he looks after his toughest test to date this Saturday. So now let's look at his opponent, Mr. Jorge Linares, former champion in 3 different weight divisions. El Niño de Oro will come into the ring at age 35. He fights out of the orthodox stance, stands 5 foot 8 inches tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a 69-inch reach. Originally from Barinas, Venezuela, now resides in Tokyo, Japan, his home away from home for almost a decade. And he's going to come to the ring with a very good record of 47 wins, 5 losses, all by way of knockout, and 29 big wins coming by way of knockout. What do you like against the old man? And is he going to still be the same after being hospitalized several months ago from COVID, Gogue?
Look, Joe, he ain't in his prime, but he's got a lot. He's got a lot of fights under his belt. He's a veteran. He's got championship experience, okay, on his resume. You know, that right there, boy, will give a young kid like Haney problems if Haney don't knock him out or catch him and everything. He's an explosive combination puncher, fast hands, okay? Those beautiful body shots, Joe. Good footwork, okay? His biggest problem is not his offense, Joe. It's his defense. He's a little bit leaky, okay, and getting hit with right hand, left hooks, and he cuts easy, Joe. Yep. You know what I mean? As soon as you hit him, you know the scar tissue over his eyes, they'll open up. You know, so but he does have a lot of championship experience. Okay, he's fought he's fought a lot better fighters than Haney and everything, but you know, look, the guy, what is he, a 10-1 underdog or something like that? 9-1 underdog?
Yeah, he's 9-1 underdog.
What does that tell you?
Yep. Well, like I said, there are a lot of questions right now. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, there are a lot of questions, and Hapla will get to your question as soon as he finishes breaking down this matchup coming up this Saturday night, because that's the final segment of the show. So what are the keys to victory for Mr. Devin Haney, the current WBC lightweight title holder?
Yeah, just be himself. Work behind that jab. Watch for them. Watch out. Linares is a sharp counter puncher. You throw a lazy jab out there, he'll come back over the top with his right hand. Okay, work behind his jab. Just be himself. Okay, nice and loose. Let everything flow off his jab. When he gets close, Joe, I think he can sneak that little looping overhand right over the top. That would be my big money punch. Oh yeah, veteran fighter like Linares, you get a chance. Start tapping that body as much as you can when you got that distance. Break him down a little. Okay, slow those legs down. Okay, but just be Devin Haney. Okay, he's a good, natural, instinctive fighter. Okay, fast hands. Fast, sharp combinations. Good counter puncher. Just let him be himself. But the thing is, just work out that jab, up and down. Jab to the head, jab to the body, which he does good. Mike McCallum taught him that real good. And just be smart. A lot of feints and everything. When you're fighting a guy like this, and he sees the openings in you, he's going to try to counter. You got to prevent that by throwing good feints at him. Okay, that's another objective of a feint is to prevent to break your opponent's timing and rhythm, so you can't counter him. Okay, so work a lot of feints and everything to make sure Linares doesn't counter and everything. But just be himself. That jab is going to be the key to dictate the fight, and that's going to set up everything. But me personally, Joe, the bread and butter, like that one Mexican guy he knocked out a few fights ago, that looping overhand right over the top. He hits Linares, yeah, that could be very fatal. But just be himself. That's all.
So what does Jorge Linares have to do to pull off the big upset this Saturday?
Same thing. Just be himself. Use all that championship experience to make adjustments during the fight. But him the same thing is that jab. Okay, he's got a quick, sharp jab. Counter off Haney's mistakes. Okay, just put his combinations, feint him too. Okay, Haney's a good counter puncher too. Like when you got a good, talented, athletic fighter, Joe, you got good reflexes, which in turn makes you a good counter puncher. If you're smart and know how to use your God-given talent. Okay, now Linares too, he's got a lot of veteran championship experience. He'll see the holes in Haney's defense. Okay, and just be himself, Joe. Game plans, oh fuck, I get shit's fucking overrated. Let the fighter just be themselves, okay, and everything will take care of it. But Linares is, me. It comes down to basics, that jab and the feints to prevent Haney from countering him, to keep him off balance and putting his combinations together. Okay, I like Linares, the sharp, straight right hand coming back with the hooks to the body. Then he comes back with them left uppercut. I like them left uppercuts he throws inside. The right hand left uppercuts or the right uppercuts he throws. Man, Linares is an offensive machine, Joe. He could throw every fucking punch in the book, man. You know what I mean? And just be himself. Throw the punches that are going to be effective. Throw the combinations when he's in range that are going to be effective. Just don't throw a bunch of bullshit combinations. Like I talked to you about last week. One punch sets up another. One punch leads to another. And just be, you know what I mean? Dude, he knows what he's got to do, okay? But he can't be getting hit by Haney, that overhand right, or the straight right hand or hooks, because he don't take a good punch, Joe. Everybody knows that, you know what I mean? As soon as you hit him, man, that chin starts cracking.
Absolutely. All 5 losses for Linares are coming by way of knockout. Now, once again, we look at the official betting line. And, guys, the book that we like to resource is BetMGM. And currently they have the betting line set as Devin Haney, a minus 1,000, which is a 10-1 betting favorite. Jorge Linares being the, not so live underdog at plus 700 or 7-1 betting underdog. Would you agree with that, or you think that's a little too generous for bettors?
Hell, man, I don't own a gambling casino. Shit, And I don't know, man. They put those, Joe, they're pretty good at putting odds out there, man. They're not in it to lose money, man. Me, 5-1, 6-1 would be good, but this guy's past his fucking prime. He doesn't take a good punch. What do you call it? He gets cut easily. Yeah. So.
Well, I tell you this, and one of the intangibles that I think it's going to come to fruition this Saturday night, I think Devin Haney is catching Jorge Linares at the right time. As we saw Alexander Povetkin, after being hospitalized for COVID, well, he didn't seem to take punches very well, and I think the same is going to be said for and realized for Jorge Linares on Saturday night, which is why I think the handicappers have the odds this wide at this time. Your final prediction on this fight, Gogue?
What did Teddy Atlas say?
What do you think he said? He likes the kid. He likes the 22-year-old current title holder to win big by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Joe. When the odds are that in your favor, man, goddamn, man, it's hard to beat the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got to go with Haney, man. Younger, sharper, fresher, not as battle-worn, torn. You know what I mean? This is a good fight for Haney, man. It's a good fight for the kid.
Yeah, it's definitely his toughest test on paper. We'll see if it is in the ring this Saturday night on DAZN. Guys, it's taking place live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Coach, do you have any? We've already been on the air for an hour. Do you have any parting shots for our listening audience?
No, I like this platform and everything. I like this. Yeah, like I said, new technology. I get kind of scared. Like, oh God, I got to learn something new. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. All the fans, hopefully you start tuning into this new platform we got. And I thought the fights last night would be better than the undercard. The fights leading up to the main event. I
was a bit disappointed as well, Coach.
Yeah, but the main event was good. But I thought it had a slight chance of being fight of the year. But Chocolatito Estrada still rule, baby. That's still the fight of the year.
Very quick. And we're not going to get into it very much. But I do have to ask your opinion of Spence versus Pacquiao. At age 42, Gogue, do you think he actually goes the distance against the best fighter in the welterweight division, arguably?
Oh, man, the guy's 42, Joe. God dog, man,
Yeah. I don't like it, Gogue.
I don't like it either, man. But my countryman, Manny Pacquiao, but golly, he's 42. Maybe he'll pull another surprise like he did with Keith Thurman and everything. So I hope he wins. I hope he knocks out Spence. You know what I mean? I like Spence. I mean, as a fighter, I think he's a good. I think he's a good fighter. But You know what I mean? Leave it like that. I hope he wins, Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? And then that would be his last fight. And then he'll wait his turn to get into the. He'll have his time to get a few years down the road. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. But I hope Manny wins and knocks him out. But yeah, man, like I said, Spence, man, he's fresh in his prime. Oh God, this guy's 42 and then fought in 2 years. It reminds me of Hector Camacho when he knocked out Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
Leonard,
yeah.
He still thought he could fight. Camacho took it to him and knocked him the fuck out. Yeah.
That was hard to watch, Gogue. That was hard to watch, man.
That's what happens, Joe, when you stay around the sport too long. Okay? When you stay around the sport too long, like when Duran fought William Joppy. Come on, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that also was very hard to watch. And, just like the great Don Chargan used to always say, every fighter, every great champion feels like they have one more great performance left in them. But very seldom does it ever end well, unfortunately, Gogue. Do you see Pacquiao going the distance at least with Spence?
I hope so.
Me too, sir.
Now, Joe.
Yeah.
He's 42. All right.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, we'll find out, guys. That's being booked for August 21st at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last question I'm going to ask you, Gogue. Do you have any thoughts? Do you even give a shit about Wilder versus Fury 3 on July 24th at the Allegiant Stadium in Vegas?
We'll talk about that some other day, Joe. I was really pumped up to watch Joshua and Fury, but surprise, that judge made him. That judge, ruled in Wilder's favor, so they have to, take the fight. So, one fight at a time. You know what I mean? That fight's down the road.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about it either, Gogue, but that's going to be just about it. And Gogue, want to thank you for your time, sir. And guys, if you want to hear more, please click like, comment, and subscribe to War Week Radio, guys. On behalf of Coach James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Radio Network. Have a good